Sometimes the focal point of a hunt just makes itself known. I was looking through competitions today trying to come up with a map to hunt on, and I realized there is a Bobcat competition which should be very winnable, basically requiring a vital hit with the 50 cap lock muzzleloader from under 25 meters, and the top score right now is I think 8.7 or thereabouts, and there's only 5 hours remaining, so we are headed out on what I thought was the most logical map, Loggers Point, and we'll see if we can place in that comp, and while we're here, we'll see what else we can find. Now, technically, there is a little bit more to the competition for Bobcats than I explained. We need to shoot it from under 25 meters unspooked, but we can only hit the heart or the lungs. We cannot hit the liver, intestines, and I'm not actually sure about the shoulder blade. So from a tower like this, it's going to be a little bit tough. My kind of thought process is just outside of the lung to try to make sure we don't hit anything else. 10 to 20 kg, and that score estimate is decent. So we will try this. A bit of an odd shot to go for, but he did drop. So hopefully that's going to be good news. We'll jump down and take a look, and he could be, even with those estimates, good enough to take first for now. We shall see. Shot placement may be liver-ish. Left lung and stomach, but he's 8.66. He wouldn't have been in the first place slot anyway. And good to try that and kind of learn what might work and what might not. In this particular spot, it would have been tough to set up on him and get him in kind of broadside. But good to know that maybe is not the ideal approach. Well, the good news is, as we continue to look for another opportunity for a Bobcat, this has the chance to be cableback bow harvest number 500, which would put us halfway to our goal of getting to 1,000. The bad news is it is not a very impressive buck, but there actually is another one coming in. I don't think we're going to stay in the stand. It might be a long wait till he gets here, and I'd like to continue forward, but we can see there in the top left our 500th harvest with the cableback bow, and hopefully we can continue to make progress on that as well. Every time I think this situation is doomed to not be anything special, something else happens. There is a third whitetail buck coming in, and the problem kind of primarily is that doe, but running that way, we should be good. The buck called from kind of where we came from, so I'm not too sure where he was, but that is harvest number 501, lung and liver. We are lucky we dropped that guy. I kind of thought it was a hard shot, but I'm almost tempted to get back in the stand. Well, at least kind of work that way. I hear a bobcat too. Just kind of the ambient sound they make. Maybe we can stick the collar out and actually get into the stand. And finally, a little bit of a bright spot here. Only 120 to 145, but a slightly better buck. But even yet again, we are not done. There was a fourth whitetail buck, kind of down in that direction now, that called as we were on our way over here. So I didn't put the bobcat collar out, partially because there is a doe right back there behind us. We can't actually see it, but I'm thinking he is still coming to where we called from before. We may be able to get a decent broadside opportunity here. A little bit odd at that angle, but able to drop him. We'll see if we can maybe get the doe under the stand. The other buck should be far enough away that he won't hear it. And then maybe we can get the bobcat collar out. This has been really odd. I remember one other hunt, probably over a year ago by now, this exact same stand we had something like this happen. I wonder if it's a more frequent occurrence than I thought and I just never go here. So our opportunity, hopefully, to drop this doe under tracks, that will work right there. And I think even we should have time to really quickly claim these two and get the bobcat collar out. I'm not too sure where we're going to put it because for sure, we've heard the bobcat a couple more times. It's in that direction, and we want to get it in a spot where we'll see it if it is indeed coming in. A 141 score for that guy, so not too bad. And I think probably it would make the most sense to do the bobcat collar somewhere down here, maybe by these rocks. And even another whitetail doe walking right to the base of our stand, and I really do wonder, is this just a coincidence, two hunts that ended up being very similar? Or are there that many whitetail around here normally? That is the buck, which again does not look to be that impressive. But talking about the potential to increase our cableback bow harvest number, this is a good way to do that. And as this buck kind of makes his way under our stand, he has double brows on both sides. That's actually kind of neat. One bends back a little bit more than the other. Got a sticker coming off of his right side as well. That might be worthy of a trophy shot just to take a closer look, but I think our sixth deer from this general area, and the last piece of the puzzle still is that Bobcat. I have not heard it since we set the caller out, but it may still be coming in, so we'll give it a couple minutes before we get down. And I at least don't see it anywhere. There's no guarantee it would be a male anyway, so we'll go ahead and grab a couple of deer. Like I said, I kind of want to trophy shot that buck. I don't know that I've ever shot a double brow buck. Oh, he actually... It's not that the brow sticks backwards. He's got a sticker behind there, too. He's going to have a pretty terrible score because of all the deductions, but kind of a neat buck. 113. Heart and spine? I guess we just sort of shoot him underneath us. And let's just take a little picture of this. Not going to get too fancy here, but I tried to make sure you could at least see the gap between the tines, so it's obvious they are sort of like the double brows. It's not, as far as I know, a thing, although you do get a lot of stickers right next to the brow tine. Maybe it is like an intended thing to almost have like the split or double brows, but anyway, not a really high scoring buck or anything that we are trying to throw in the trophy lodge. Just one of those neat things Truax will do from time to time, but we'll grab our Bobcat collar, and we are going to head towards the center tower. That is the area I hope to get another opportunity at a male Bobcat. We shall see. About 45 minutes into this hunt, they should still be kind of around that area. So finally, maybe a shot for Bobcat number 2, the same weight estimate, slightly lower score estimate, but it's gonna be tough. He's in range, but there's just absolutely no way that we're getting just a heart or lung shot. We need him to go broadside. The caller is way over there to our left, and to be honest, pretty good chance this is going to eliminate any chance we have at still getting him. I don't know how we didn't end up reloading this. Equally surprising is the fact that he is somehow still there. I guess our camo is in effect here. I don't know if we have to stand or if we can prone. We were standing up. If anyone can answer why he didn't spook, I'd be impressed, because I have no clue. Managed to get him down. Not going to reload yet, but I will reload as soon as we claim him. I think we put that shot right behind the shoulder, so shouldn't be anything but lungs. It is double lung and shoulder blade. Does that shoulder blade actually matter? It does. It was a low score, 8.2. Gonna reload this before I forget. So, again, kinda got away with one and not making the best shot, but more so than that, how did he not spook? It was 20 meters away. Well, that's a little bit of a bummer, but kind of in a good way. Our last hunt in Hunter Classic was over on Hirschfelden for a couple of competitions, including a pheasant comp, and one like that, 27 to 30 score estimate would have been pretty nice. Now, we only have, as far as ethical weapons go, the cableback bow and the 22 handgun, and just in case this one's really big, we'd like to get them out of the air because pheasants can't count for the leaderboard unless you shoot them airborne, so we don't need to try to worry about the 30 meters like we did for the Hirschfelden comp, but we do want to actually flush them and really hope we can make the shot with the handgun. So let's send them airborne. We will try with that kind of odd angle to get him out of the air with the 22. The last thing I would have expected would be for him to just go right through that brush. That didn't really go to plan. Admittedly, so far in this hunt, not a whole lot really has gone to plan. From the Bobcat situation twice earlier to now with this pheasant, we had to go back and get our pointer. He's kind of helped us to locate this pheasant, but twice now, the pheasant has ended up spooking when we let the pointer go all the way up, so we've got him staying behind us, grabbed a shotgun, and I'm pretty sure it is somewhere in this grass, so ideally, we can spot him first and then flush him, but worst case scenario, we'll just kind of run around and try to get him to show himself that way. That is him right there. So let's see if we can finally get this guy down. Should be a routine shot with the shotgun. My goodness. It went from very similar situation to the competition that we did over on Hirschfelden and thinking we could make the shot easily to a good 30 minutes of chasing this pheasant around Loggers Point. Finally did. Let's hope that was worth all of the struggle that went into it. 2.7 kg, 28.97. I do believe that is our personal best, so worth it in the end, I guess. Would have been nice to cross that 29 barrier, about 0.03 away from that, but still cool to get a PB. And I guess this is an acceptable trophy shot. Really not the best that we've ever come up with, but just to add insult to injury, one of the toughest spots to take a pheasant trophy shot that we've ever had in this little tiny dip, but at least we got that. Really did not intend a wild pheasant chase to take up a good chunk of this hunt, but we still have hopefully a bobcat to go and try to find. 2 males down so far from this map. There are definitely more out there to try to find, and one thing's for sure, we are not going and looking for that pheasant that just called. I thought that maybe coming down here to the south end of the map could get us on bobcats relatively quickly, as I fast traveled down here numerous times and had a bobcat call right away, but the only thing we have at the moment is a mule deer buck, and that actually does not happen often. Hopefully that's going to be a lung hit. That appears to be lung blood as he's running off. And I do want to still place the e-collar down and just maybe see if there's a bobcat that was not being vocal when we got here. And with no sign of any bobcats around, I guess we'll go ahead and take this coyote. I didn't even call for them, he's just kind of walking by, but up to 57. We'll use the muzzleloader here to try to save on tracking. And this time we'll reload before we even get out of the tripod, just in case we do run across another bobcat. The plan is to head up to the crater area. I think that's the most likely region to maybe encounter him, especially late in the hunt. So we'll see how that goes after we claim our buck and coyote. It is turning into an interesting hunt, though. It looked like it would be no big deal to get on the board for the bobcat competition. All of a sudden, I'm not too sure. 53 scoring coyote, by the way, 103 GM for that. But especially going this far into the hunt, like I said, there are more male bobcats on this map without a doubt. It's just a matter of finding them, and then still, we have to make that shot, which has proven to be tougher than I thought it would be. So not a terrible track to get to our mule deer. It was a left lung shot at 9.7 meters, 135 score, and we will head off to the crater. It's almost as though it was set up just perfectly for us. This guy snuck in from the left side. I only heard his footsteps. I've been thinking he was going to come out of down in here. And again though, a bobcat that just doesn't seem to know we're here. This field camo really does a good job, but we have to make sure no liver here and no shoulder blade. I think we'll try to get the shot right in there. He kind of took a half a step forward. It ain't shoulder blade, I can be certain of that. It may well be liver though. Ooh, double lung and heart is not huge, but I actually think it's going to do decent. It's got us in second, and I went back and looked at the comp placements. 8.77 was first. The next one I think is a female bobcat at, it may have been 6.666. It was something in that general vicinity, and I'm not sure how I feel about like a competition trophy from that. There's 2 hours left in this thing, 2.5 hours. We may still get pushed out of top 3, we shall see. But, to a degree, at least in my opinion, a part of trying to win competition trophies is picking the correct competitions and looking to see maybe when there's major events running, if everyone's focused on that, what competitions do you think you can actually place in? I'm still not sure, you know, an 8.1 or 8.2, whatever we just shot bobcat, if that is special enough to really deserve a trophy, but we'll see. It is 12:30 a.m., and I think probably on that note, we are actually going to wrap up. So, either way, a hunt that led us to our biggest pheasant ever, and we got a bobcat that may or may not get us a competition trophy for yet another species since they released the new trophies. But on that note, I think that is going to do it for this hunt. So, as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.